The small missile ship Vyshny Volochok, a Project 21631 Buyan-M class vessel belonging to the 41st Brigade of missile ships and boats, crashed into a tanker in early August while fleeing from Ukrainian naval drones. According to Defense Express, the Russians attempted to conceal the damage to the ship as a result of this non-combat incident, but documents have surfaced online confirming the ship's collision with the tanker. Citing documents, the publication noted that the incident occurred in the Temryuk Bay of the Sea of Azov on August the 7th. The VChik OGPU Telegram channel published a diagram of the maneuvers of the small missile ship Vyshny Volochok during the collision with the tanker Nazan. The publication's analysts noted the following nuance. According to the leaked report, due to the detection of a group of drones in the sky, likely Ukrainian, the ship was ordered to turn back to port. Just 6 minutes later, the ship Vyshny Volochok collided with the tanker Nazan on its port side. The incident was determined to be an accident related to ship control. Analysts noted that the documents speak of deformation of the hull and hull structures. By the way, according to a report from the Ministry of Defense of the Russian Federation, on the night of August the 6th to the 7th, until about 6 a.m., 31 drones were destroyed over the Sea of Azov and another 11 over temporarily occupied Crimea. By the way, according to the report of the Russians, deformation of the hull and hull structures is reported. The actual damage can be seen in the photo. Recall a series of Project 21631, codename Buyan-M, frigates is being built by the Zelenodolsk plant and was developed by the Zelenodolsk Design Bureau as a modernization of the Project 21630 Buyan frigates. At the same time, the displacement increased from 500 tons to 949. The strike weaponry is provided by the 3S-14 vertical launch system, which can launch 8 missiles, either caliber missiles or, in the future, Zircon and Onyx missiles. Earlier in August, a brand new Russian Navy tugboat, Kapitan Ushakov, sank during final outfitting at the Baltic shipyard in St. Petersburg. The vessel capsized overnight after flooding in the auxiliary machinery compartment and was later found resting on the bottom alongside the pier. The tug was intended for the Northern Fleet and had not yet entered service. Ukraine's long-range drone campaign has achieved phenomenal results, effectively dismantling a fifth of Russia's oil refining system. What began as small-scale probing raids has now evolved into a sustained large-scale campaign aimed at dismantling Russia's ability to refine oil on a national scale, Euromaidan Press media outlet says. The hardest hit region is Samara, as a swarm of 29 drones struck the Kyiv refinery, one of Russia's largest fuel producers, followed by a series of repeat attacks that stalled repair efforts and forced an extended shutdown. Fires erupted across hydrogen plants, storage tanks, and distillation units, knocking the facility entirely offline. Just days later, the nearby Sezron refinery was struck in a coordinated follow-up that damaged its AVT-6 unit and major reservoirs. Both sites were hit 6 times within 6 weeks, with the latest strikes targeting the replacement components and delaying any meaningful progress on repairs. In Saratov, Ukrainian drones returned 3 times in under 3 weeks to strike storage terminals and transfer pipelines, effectively resetting damage just as restoration began. Euromaidan Press says. The Ilsky and Afipsky refineries in Krasnodar Krai were also struck 5 times total within the last 6 weeks, completely disrupting output. These are not isolated events, as over the past 2 months, Ukraine has struck at least 15 major oil sites, including refineries and pumping stations across Russia. Conservative estimates suggest over 21% of Russia's total refining capacity has been damaged or disabled in the past 2 months alone. In Volgograd, Ukraine hit a refinery that processes over 15 million tons of crude annually, the largest in southern Russia. The strike sparked multiple fires across the processing units, forcing an emergency shutdown that halted operations at Russia's largest refinery in the south, Euromaidan Press reports. In Ryazan, fires broke out in 2 of the highest capacity refining modules, the AVT for crude distillation unit and LWET 6 atmospheric vacuum unit, which were both damaged. Together, they account for much of the plant's daily output. At Kyiv, one of the largest refineries in northwest Russia, the damage done by an unknown number of Ukrainian drones reduced output by up to 40%. In Ufa, one of the densest fuel-producing hubs in the country, Ukraine struck 2 refineries just kilometers apart, as both the Bovo-Ufimsky and Salavat refineries were hit. At Salavat, Ukraine set fire to the AVT-4 cracking unit, which processes heavy crude into gasoline and diesel, making it essential for both military and civilian fuel supplies across the region, Euromaidan Press says. In Bashkortostan, more than 1,400 kilometers from Ukraine, the Gazprom Salavat plant was damaged in a rare long-range drone strike that bypassed early warning systems completely. Pumping stations and pipelines have also become targets, as in the Vladimir region, the Votorovo pumping station was hit 3 separate times, knocking out part of the diesel supply line to the Moscow Ring. In a separate operation, Ukrainian drones hit the Kubyshev-Tikhoretsk pipeline network, setting fire to pumping nodes and temporarily halting flows to the Novorossiysk export terminal. Multiple rounds of strikes not only prolong outages, but also exhaust local emergency response teams, and Russia's rushed attempts to restart operations after each attack are often exploited by Ukraine, which at times follows up with strikes to destroy newly installed components before they can enter service.